And let me just tell a little story. Please, please, please pay attention to this. I verified this myself. A lady called one of the talk shows, unfortunately not Helen's, but called one of the talk shows and complained that her son was misbehaving in school and got called into school. This is in Providence, Rhode Island, capital city of our state. She went in with the son to determine what was going on, what the problem was. She met with the counselor. The counselor did not speak English. The counselor in the Providence school did not speak English. There was an interpreter there to deal with the mother and her son. And she said also, her son told her that in some of the classrooms, the teachers didn't speak English well enough to communicate with the kids, and they had to have interpreters to interpret for the English-speaking kids in the classroom in the capital city of the state of Rhode Island. Give me a break, please. And just in case you're wondering, I verified that situation with the 4th ranking member of the Providence School Administration, and I also verified that situation at the State House with Marcia Reback, the president of the American Federation of Teachers in Rhode Island. So it has to be true. What she said was Providence had to hire a lot of Spanish-speaking teachers, but they hired them under the guise that they were bilingual. When they got in the classroom, nobody could understand the bilingual part of their teaching. So they had to hire interpreters to teach the kids in English. Medical costs, another thing. Last year, there was $138 million uncompensated care requested for reimbursement from the state of Rhode Island by Rhode Island's hospitals. $138 million. It's impossible to find out what portion of that $138 million goes to illegal aliens. I think we should be able to know that. The president of the Rhode Island Hospital Association, Mr. Quinlan, said that question is not asked. We cannot find that out. I was a guest on the Joe Trillo show a couple of weeks ago, and another guest, in disguise, was an interpreter for one of the local hospitals. She said in her hospital, every single penny is counted on a weekly basis for every individual illegal immigrant in that hospital. So how does Mr. Quinlan not know? Because that hospital happens to be part of that association. And another story, I love telling stories. Just so you know, these are things this is how bad it is. Illegal alien women can come to Rhode Island 6 months pregnant. They can go down to our system. They're provided an interpreter. Through the interpreter, they're asked which insurance they would like to have. Blue Cross, Neighborhood Health, Tufts, or United Health. Which one? It's on us, it's free, it's $1,000 a month. So say they come here when they're 6 months pregnant. 3 months they go to the hospital, all the care is free. When they have the baby now is a U.S. citizen, entitled to welfare. We just found this out 2 months ago. The baby, under the guise of the baby, illegal alien mothers are staying in subsidized housing because the baby is an anchor baby, a U.S. citizen. Absolutely, positively incredible. The last thing, incarceration. We spend $8.4 million a year in Rhode Island incarcerating over 200 illegal alien prisoners that have committed felony crimes in our ACI. We're reimbursed $1.2 million from the federal government. That leaves $7.4 million. We're all chipping in, ladies and gentlemen. We're all chipping in. Totally unfair. There are programs where we can get rid of them. I suggested something to the prison about a year ago where there's a program where ICE will take the prisoners, illegal alien prisoners, off the ACI's hands. All the prisoner has to do is agree to be turned over to ICE for immediate deportation, and he gets a get out of prison card free. He goes right to ICE and they deport him immediately. The ACI said, come on, where do you come up with these kind of programs? What are you, a nut? Well, it happens to be an ICE program. And I have documentation in all the emails that you could want where the the head of the ACI, Mr. what is his name? Wall, said the program I presented to him didn't sound like a prison program. It sounded like a parole board program. So the lady that was the head of the parole board would get in touch with me right away. Never heard from the lady from the parole board. Never heard anything. When the governor announced his E-Verify executive order, A.T. Wall was there. I went over and I said, Mr. Wall, Terry Gorman, I sent you a couple of emails. Oh, hi Terry, how are you? How's it going? Linda got a hold of you, right? I said, no, I never heard it from anybody. He turned around to the lady sitting next to him and said, Linda, you didn't get a hold of Terry? Linda was as red as your dress. She didn't know which way to turn. But they have that program now, much to their credit, and much to the governor's credit. They use that program. And imagine this, how great this is. When illegal alien prisoners now finish their term, I shouldn't say that with all the politicians here. Finish their sentence. When they finish this, maybe we can call it that, Mark. All depends. But when they finish their sentence, they are now turned over to ICE and deported instead of being released into the community. Who would ever think that was okay? And lastly, regarding the current Obama healthcare debacle, if you folks decide to put on your brown shirts and go to a town hall meetings, please ask the delegates, especially our congressional delegates, why the plan, the new Obama healthcare plan, is going to insure 15 million illegal aliens. And why is it going to insure 10 million people who by choice do not want health care? They don't want to pay for it, whether they're too cheap, whether they think they're never going to get sick, or whatever. They don't want it. Why should we be paying for that? And just to finish up, I've only touched on a few of what RIILE believes to be the problems created by illegal aliens in our state, and let alone in our country. So I implore this prestigious choir to raise its voice and demand that this ongoing and growing problem get resolved once and for all. Thank you. I know I took too long.